Lieutenant Commander Eric Mitchell stared at the radar screen in front of him. The small green dot hadn't moved for the last 20 minutes. According to all readings, it was just another piece of space rock floating through the outer asteroid belt, but something about it bothered him. "Dr. Warren, what do you make of this?" Eric pointed at the screen. Olivia Warren pushed her glasses up and leaned closer. Her eyes narrowed as she studied the readout. "That's odd," she said. "The density readings don't match typical asteroid composition." Eric nodded. "That's what I thought too." He turned to the pilot. "Joe, take us closer." Nice and slow. The small patrol ship changed course. As they approached the object, more details became clear. It wasn't round like most asteroids. It had edges, angles, and what looked like a hull. "It's a ship," Eric whispered. His heart beat faster. "A very old ship." Dr. Warren's fingers moved quickly across her screen. "Initial scans suggest it's approximately 50,000 years old, give or take a few millennia." 50,000 years. Eric couldn't hide his surprise. That predates human space travel by, well, almost everything. "It's not one of ours, and it doesn't match any known alien designs in our database," Olivia added. The communications officer, a young man named Sam Kelly, looked up from his station. "Sir, protocol says we should report this to headquarters immediately." Eric hesitated. He was 6 months away from a promotion review. Discovering an ancient alien vessel could push his career forward, but only if he could claim credit for meaningful findings. If he reported it now, headquarters would send a research team, and he'd be back to routine patrol duties. "We'll report it," Eric said slowly, "after we take a closer look ourselves." Olivia gave him a sharp look. "Commander, that's against protocol for unidentified objects of unknown origin." "I'm aware of the protocol, Doctor," Eric replied. "But we're already here, and headquarters is 3 days away, even by fast message. A preliminary investigation is reasonable under these circumstances." Sam and Olivia exchanged glances but didn't argue further. "Prepare a boarding team," Eric ordered. "Full environmental suits, standard precautions." An hour later, Eric led a team of 5 across the short distance between their ship and the mysterious vessel. Up close, the ancient ship was even more impressive. Despite its age, the hull showed remarkably little damage. No visible meteor impacts, no sign of weapons fire, just a thin layer of space dust. "Look at this material," Olivia said, running a scanner over the hull. "It's not metal, at least not any metal we know. It has some properties of both solid matter and energy fields." "Can we get inside?" Eric asked. "There appears to be an airlock or entrance of some kind approximately 30 meters to our right," she replied. They made their way carefully across the hull. The airlock was a circular door with no visible handle or control panel. As they approached, something unexpected happened. The door simply opened. "Motion sensors. After 50,000 years," Sam whispered through the comm. "Impossible," Olivia said. Unless it's still operational," Eric finished her thought. The team exchanged nervous glances. An active alien ship that had survived for 50,000 years was beyond anything in human experience. "We proceed with extreme caution," Eric decided. "Dr. Warren and I will enter first. The rest of you stay here and maintain contact with the ship." As Eric and Olivia stepped through the doorway, lights activated along a corridor ahead of them. Not bright white lights like on human ships, but a soft blue glow that seemed to come from the walls themselves. "It's responding to our presence," Olivia whispered. "This ship isn't dead. It's dormant." Eric touched the wall. It felt warm, almost alive. "Whatever this is," he said, "I think we just woke it up." The corridor stretched deeper into the alien ship. Eric and Olivia moved slowly, their flashlights barely needed in the soft blue glow. Their footsteps made no sound on the strange floor material. "It's like walking on firm water," Olivia said. "The material gives slightly, then returns to its shape." Eric nodded. Any radiation readings? None. Air composition is being analyzed now. Her device beeped. This is strange. The air inside is breathable. Oxygen, nitrogen, trace elements, almost exactly like Earth's atmosphere. After 50,000 years. That's impossible. The ship must have some kind of self-sustaining environmental system, Olivia replied. Nothing we know of could maintain these conditions for so long. They reached a circular room with a raised platform in the center. Symbols covered the walls, flowing lines and dots, unlike any language Eric had seen before. Look at this, Olivia whispered. She approached the central platform where a dim light pulsed. It's some kind of control station. Eric touched his comm. Sam, how's our connection? Clear so far, Commander, Sam's voice replied. The ship's hull isn't blocking our signals. Good. We're in what looks like a control room. Olivia ran her scanner over the platform. There's energy flowing through this entire structure, but I can't identify the source. As she moved her hand over the surface, the light pulsed brighter. Suddenly, the entire room lit up. Symbols on the walls glowed, and a holographic display appeared above the platform. I think I activated something, Olivia said, backing away. The hologram formed into a three-dimensional map of stars, then changed to show geometric shapes that spun and merged. It could be trying to communicate, Eric suggested. Olivia took out a small device. I'm going to try our universal translator protocol. She placed the device on the platform. It hummed as it processed the symbols and sounds now coming from the ship. Guardian protocol initiated, scanning present entities. The voice came from everywhere at once. It was neither male nor female, with an odd resonance that made Eric's skin tingle. It's speaking English, he whispered. No, Olivia replied. Our translator is converting it. A beam of light scanned them from head to toe. Biological entities identified. Species classification. Human. Status. Potential inheritors. Eric stepped forward. I am Lieutenant Commander Eric Mitchell of the Earth Confederation Navy. We mean no harm. The light pulsed. This vessel is designated Guardian. Purpose. Preserve knowledge and provide defense. Defense against what? Olivia asked. Against the Scourge. Before they could ask more, their comm units buzzed with Sam's urgent voice. Commander, we're picking up activity from the ship's outer hull. It's changing. What do you mean, changing? Eric demanded. Parts are moving, reconfiguring. And there's an energy buildup. Eric looked at Olivia. We need to get back to our ship. As they turned to leave, Guardian spoke again. Warning. Scourge genetic markers detected in nearby space. Defensive protocols initiating. Meanwhile, light years away, Admiral Patel stood on the bridge of Earth Confederation's largest defense station. A junior officer approached with a troubled expression. Admiral, long-range sensors have detected a Selnar battle fleet entering our territory. Patel's face hardened. Size and composition. 23 ships, including their flagship, the Iron Stormblade. The Admiral stared at the display showing the approaching fleet. The Selnar had always been hostile, but they'd never dared enter Confederation space with such force. Send a message to all outposts. Defense Condition 1. And try to establish communication with the Selnar. Yes, Admiral. There's one more thing. The officer hesitated. Lieutenant Commander Mitchell's patrol ship has missed 2 scheduled check-ins. Mitchell, his patrol route is nowhere near the Selnar approach. No, sir. He's in the outer asteroid belt, Sector 7. Admiral Patel frowned. Keep trying to reach him. I want to know why one of my officers has gone silent just as the Selnar decide to pay us a visit. Back on the ancient vessel, Eric and Olivia felt the ship hum beneath their feet as unknown systems awakened after 50,000 years of silence. Eric and Olivia rushed back through the glowing corridors. The ship's vibrations grew stronger with each step. Sam, is the path still clear? Eric asked through his comm. Yes, Commander, but hurry. The outer hull is definitely changing. They reached the entry point where the rest of the team waited. Through their helmet visors, Eric could see the worry on their faces. Everyone back to our ship. Now. As they crossed the short distance between the vessels, Eric looked back. The ancient ship's surface rippled like water. Sections that had appeared dormant now glowed with the same blue light they had seen inside. Once safely aboard their own ship, Olivia went straight to the sensors. "The Guardian is drawing energy from somewhere," she said. "Power levels are rising rapidly." "From where?" Eric asked. Olivia shook her head. "That's the thing. There's no visible energy source. It's like it's pulling power from space itself." Sam called from his station. "Commander, I've established a more stable connection with the ship's communication system. I think we can speak with Guardian from here." "Do it," Eric ordered. The main screen flickered, then filled with swirling patterns of light that somehow resembled a face. "Guardian, this is Commander Mitchell. Please explain what you mean by scourge genetic markers and defensive protocols." The patterns shifted. The scourge were enemies of the precursors. They destroyed worlds. The precursors created Guardian vessels as protection. "Precursors?" Olivia asked. "Were they the builders of your ship?" "Correct. The precursors seeded many worlds with life. Earth was one. Humans carry precursor genetic legacy." Eric and Olivia exchanged looks. This was bigger than a simple discovery. It suggested humans had been part of an ancient alien experiment. "And these scourge?" Eric asked. "You've detected them nearby." "Descendants of the scourge approach. Their genetic pattern matches historical records at 92% correlation." Eric felt cold. "Are you referring to the Xelmar?" The lights pulsed. Name classification unknown. Species with matching genetic markers pilots 23 vessels on approach to this region. That matched exactly what they knew about the Xelmar fleet. Somehow, this ancient ship could detect them from tremendous distances. "Commander," Sam interrupted, "I'm receiving an emergency broadcast from headquarters. All ships are ordered to return immediately. The Xelmar fleet has entered our space and is not responding to communication attempts." Eric faced a difficult decision. Protocol demanded they return to help defend Earth. But the Guardian vessel clearly had information and possibly technology that could be vital. "Guardian," he said, "can you be moved? We need to take you to our headquarters. This vessel can self-navigate if necessary." "Good. Then follow us. We're returning to Earth." Over the next 3 days, they traveled back to Earth's defense perimeter, the ancient vessel matching their speed perfectly. Eric sent reports ahead, but received no response other than automated acknowledgments. As they approached Earth's outer defense line, they finally received a direct communication. Admiral Patel's face appeared on screen. He looked tired, his uniform wrinkled from hours on duty. "Mitchell, what in God's name have you done? And what is that thing following your ship?" "Sir, we've discovered an ancient vessel with advanced technology. It calls itself Guardian and was built by a species called the Precursors. I don't care what it calls itself. The Xelmar are demanding we hand it over immediately. Their ambassador claims we've stolen a sacred relic." "Sacred relic?" Olivia said. "That's not right. Guardian says that Xelmar are genetically related to an enemy the Precursors fought against." Admiral Patel rubbed his face. "The Xelmar fleet is holding position just outside our defense grid. Their flagship alone could destroy half our forces, if they want this thing badly enough to risk war." "Sir," Eric interrupted, "I believe Guardian may be more valuable than we realize. It has technology far beyond ours. Or it could be the very reason the Xelmar are here," Patel countered. "Bring it to Station Alpha. Our scientists will examine it. And Mitchell, pray this discovery of yours doesn't start a war." As they changed course for Station Alpha, Olivia studied new data coming from Guardian. "Eric," she said quietly, using his first name, "Guardian is accessing our computer networks. It's learning everything about human civilization. And I think it's preparing something. Station Alpha buzzed with activity. Scientists, military personnel, and government officials had all come to see the ancient vessel now docked in the largest bay. Guards stood at every entrance, their weapons ready. In the main conference room, Eric and Olivia waited nervously. Admiral Patel entered with a woman in a diplomatic uniform. Commander Mitchell, Dr. Warren, this is Diane Peters, our Chief Diplomatic Officer, Patel said. Diane nodded. I've been attempting to communicate with Excelmar for the past 48 hours. Any progress? Eric asked. Very little. They're insisting that the vessel you found is sacred to their people. According to their religious texts, the Ancient Ones left behind vessels of ascension that would elevate worthy species to godhood. Olivia frowned. That doesn't match what Guardian told us. It said that Selnar are genetically related to an enemy the precursors fought against. The Selnar ambassador will be here in an hour, Diane said. We need to be careful about what we say. One wrong word could start a war. A young officer burst into the room. Admiral, the Guardian vessel is activating new systems. Energy readings are off the charts. They rushed to the observation deck overlooking the bay. The ancient ship pulsed with blue light. Parts of its hull shifted and changed, revealing complex structures that hadn't been visible before. What's it doing? Patel demanded. I don't know, Olivia admitted, but I think it's fully awakening now. The main screen in the bay lit up, showing the face-like pattern they had seen before. Warning, Guardian announced. Scourge vessel approaching defensive perimeter. Weapons charging detected. Patel grabbed his comm. This is Admiral Patel. All ships to battle stations. Sir, a voice replied. That Selnar flagship is moving. The rest of their fleet is holding position. Just the flagship. Patel looked confused. What are they playing at? On the screen, Guardian displayed an image of a massive vessel. It was black and silver, shaped like a blade with jagged edges. Red energy gathered at its front. Iron Stormblade, Guardian said. Main weapon system designed to penetrate planetary shields. Threat level, extreme. Diane's face paled. They wouldn't attack a station with their ambassador still on board. Unless the ambassador was just a distraction, Eric suggested. Patel turned to Eric. You need to speak with that ship of yours. Ask if it can help us. Eric approached the screen. Guardian, that Selnar vessel is threatening our station. Can you assist us? The lights pulsed. Guardian vessels were created with defensive capabilities. However, full activation requires human interface. What does that mean? Eric asked. A human must connect directly with Guardian's control systems to unlock full defensive capabilities. Olivia stepped forward. Is this connection dangerous? Risk to human biological systems, significant. However, genetic compatibility with precursor markers suggests possibility of successful integration. Before they could ask more, the station shook violently. Warning alarms blared. The iron Stormblade just fired on our outer defenses, someone shouted. Shields at 60% after just one hit. The doors slid open, and the Selnar ambassador entered with 2 guards. He was tall and thin, with pale blue skin and eyes that glowed faintly red. His voice was cold when he spoke. You humans have desecrated a holy relic. The punishment is destruction. Diane stepped forward. Ambassador Krell, this is an act of war. Your own people are still on this station. The ambassador smiled. Our people are prepared to die for our faith. The sacred vessel will be ours, or it will be destroyed. Guardian's voice filled the room again. Ambassador Krell of the Selnar displays 96% genetic match to Scourge leadership caste. Historical records indicate infiltration tactics were common. The ambassador's eyes widened. He looked at the screen, then at the humans. The vessel speaks. It recognizes us. Eric saw the fear in the ambassador's face. It knows exactly what you are. The station shook again. More alarms sounded. Second hit, someone reported. Shields at 30%. Patel looked at Eric. We can't survive another hit like that. If your ship can help us, now's the time. Eric turned to Guardian's screen. How do we connect a human to your systems? The lights pulsed rapidly. Central chamber. Neural interface prepared. Eric took a deep breath. I'll do it. Olivia grabbed his arm. Eric, we don't know what will happen to you. We don't have a choice, he replied, looking at the image of the iron Stormblade preparing to fire again. It's either this or we all die. The station rocked with another blast. Lights flickered and people held on to whatever they could find to stay standing. That wasn't a direct hit, but our shields are failing, a technician called out. Admiral Patel pointed at two security officers. Take that Selmar ambassador into custody. As the guards moved toward him, Ambassador Krell reached inside his robe and pulled out a small device. Stay back, he warned. This signal will tell our ships to fire at full power. Chief of Security Paul Martinez stepped forward, his hand on his weapon. Put it down now. Before anyone could move, Olivia lunged forward and shoved the ambassador's arm upward. The device flew from his hand, and Paul caught it midair. Take him away, Patel ordered. The guards dragged the struggling ambassador out. Eric turned to Olivia. I need to get to Guardian's neural interface. I'm coming with you, she said firmly. They raced through the station corridors, pushing past panicked staff running for emergency shelters. When they reached the docking bay, they found Guardian's hull had changed even more. What once looked like an entry point was now a glowing blue doorway. It's ready for you, Olivia said quietly. Eric squeezed her hand. If this doesn't work. It will work, she interrupted. It has to. He nodded and stepped through the doorway. Inside, the ship had transformed completely. The corridors had widened, and the blue light pulsed in time with what seemed like a heartbeat. Guardian's voice surrounded him. Follow the light path to the central chamber. A trail of brighter blue lights appeared on the floor. Eric followed it to a large circular room he hadn't seen before. In the center floated a chair-like structure made of the same shifting material as the ship's hull. Sit there, Guardian instructed. The neural interface will activate. Eric took a deep breath and sat down. The material immediately molded around him, comfortable but firm. This will cause pain, Guardian warned. Your neural pathways must adapt to precursor technology. Will I survive? Eric asked. Uncertain. Your genetic markers suggest compatibility, but the process has not been attempted with humans before. Eric closed his eyes. Do it. Pain shot through his body like lightning. He wanted to scream but couldn't move. Images flooded his mind. Stars exploding, planets forming, strange beings with technology beyond imagination. He saw the precursors, tall, elegant creatures of light and matter. And he saw their enemies, the scourge, consuming worlds. Outside, on Station Alpha, Olivia watched the main monitor. The iron Stormblade had moved closer, its weapon systems glowing bright red as they prepared to fire again. This is it, Admiral Patel said grimly. Our remaining shields won't hold against another direct hit. Suddenly, Guardian's hull blazed with blue lights so intense everyone had to look away. When they looked back, the ship had changed completely. It was now sleek and deadly, covered in what looked like weapons. Energy spiked from the Guardian vessel. A technician shouted. Guardian moved forward, positioning itself between the station and the iron Stormblade. The Selnar flagship fired its main weapon, a beam of red energy that should have cut through anything in its path. But it never reached the station. Guardian absorbed the blast completely, the red energy disappearing into its hull like water into sand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, Guardian began to change again. Parts of its structure extended outward, forming shapes that defied understanding. A soft blue glow built at what appeared to be its front section. Admiral Patel stared in awe. What is it doing? Olivia watched the readings on her pad. "It's not just a ship," she whispered. "It's a weapon. A weapon designed specifically to fight the Scourge." Inside Guardian's central chamber, Eric floated in darkness and light. His body remained in the chair, but his mind was somewhere else, everywhere else. He could see through Guardian's sensors, feel its power systems, and understand its purpose with perfect clarity. He could see the iron Stormblade, its crew panicking as they realized what they faced. He felt Guardian's weapons system lock onto the Selnar flagship, and with a thought, he fired. A beam of pure blue energy shot from Guardian. It wasn't like any weapon the humans had seen before. It didn't explode or burn. Instead, it seemed to pass through the iron Stormblade like it wasn't even there. For a moment, nothing happened. The Selnar flagship hung in space, seemingly untouched. "Did it miss?" Admiral Patel asked. Before anyone could answer, the iron Stormblade began to change. Parts of its hull turned transparent, revealing the inner workings of the massive warship. Systems shut down one by one, like lights being switched off in sequence. "It's not destroying the ship," Olivia realized. "It's dismantling it." On the main screen, they watched as the iron Stormblade's weapons powered down. The red glow faded. Emergency lights flickered across its surface as backup systems failed. Inside Guardian, Eric experienced it all differently. He wasn't just watching the iron Stormblade systems fail, he was making it happen. Through Guardian, he could see the patterns of energy that powered the Selnar ship, and with a thought, he could unravel them. "This is precision," he whispered, though no one could hear him. "Guardian isn't just destroying, it's surgically disabling." Eric felt a presence with him, guiding his actions. It wasn't exactly Guardian, but something deeper, older. The collective knowledge of the precursors themselves, preserved within the ship's memory. "Show me more," he thought, and the knowledge flowed into him. On Station Alpha, the mood shifted from fear to cautious hope. The iron Stormblade hung dead in space, all its mighty weapons silent. "They're hailing us," Sam said from his communication station. Admiral Patel straightened his uniform. "Put them on screen." The face that appeared wasn't the confident commander they expected. This Selnar looked terrified. His blue skin had paled to almost white, and his red eyes were wide. "We surrender," he said simply. "Please, call off your weapon." Patel looked at Olivia. "Can we communicate with Eric?" She tried her comlink. "Eric, can you hear me? The Selnar are surrendering." Inside Guardian, Eric heard her voice as if from far away. He was deep in the stream of precursor knowledge, learning things about the universe that humans had never imagined. "I hear you," he managed to say. His voice sounded strange even to himself. "The Selnar have surrendered," Olivia repeated. "You can stop now." Eric directed his thoughts toward Guardian. The blue beam faded, leaving the iron Stormblade floating helplessly. "Tell them to recall their fleet," Eric said. "All ships must leave Earth space immediately." Admiral Patel relayed the message to the Selnar commander, who nodded quickly and cut the transmission. "They're sending signals to the rest of their fleet," Sam reported. "They're withdrawing." A cheer went up around the command center. Patel allowed himself a small smile before turning to Olivia. "Now let's get Commander Mitchell out of that ship." Olivia led a team back to Guardian. The doorway remained open, but the interior had changed again. The corridors were wider, and new rooms had appeared. "Eric," she called. "Eric, where are you?" Guardian's voice answered her. "Lieutenant Commander Mitchell is in the central chamber." Disconnection process initiated. They found the chamber, now larger and filled with displays showing star maps and scrolling data. Eric floated in the center, his body surrounded by a soft blue light. His eyes were open but unseeing. Chief Medical Officer Lisa Bell rushed forward with her scanner. "His vital signs are all over the place. Heart rate, brain activity. They're beyond human norms." "Is he alive?" Olivia asked. "Yes, but," Lisa looked troubled. "He's changing." As they watched, The blue lights slowly faded. Eric's body lowered gently to the floor. He took a deep breath and opened his eyes. But they weren't the eyes Olivia remembered. They glowed faintly blue, like the light of Guardian itself. "Eric," she whispered. He smiled, but it wasn't quite right. Something had changed in his face, in the way he held himself. "I'm still here," he said, "but I'm more now." He stood without help, looking around the chamber with his strange new eyes. "I understand now," he said. "I know what Guardian really is, what the precursors intended." He turned to Olivia, his expression serious. "And I know why the Xelnar wanted it so badly." 2 days later, Eric stood before the Earth Confederation Council. The room was packed with military leaders, scientists, and government officials. Everyone wanted to hear about Guardian and what had happened to Eric Mitchell. Admiral Patel introduced him. "Lieutenant Commander Mitchell has requested this meeting to share what he learned from his connection with the alien vessel." Eric stepped forward. His eyes still glowed faintly blue, making some people in the room shift uncomfortably in their seats, but his voice was steady and clear. "The ship we call Guardian is one of 7 vessels created by the precursors before they left our galaxy. They were an ancient race that evolved over millions of years. They seeded countless worlds with life, including Earth." He touched a control panel, and a hologram appeared showing a map of the galaxy with 7 points of light. Each Guardian was placed to watch over developing worlds and protect them from the Scourge, a species that consumed other civilizations. The Xelnar are descendants of the Scourge, though most have forgotten their true history. An older council member leaned forward. "Why did the Xelnar want this Guardian so badly?" "Because they remembered enough to know its power," Eric answered. "In their religious texts, they call the precursors the Ancient Ones and believe their technology would elevate the Xelnar to godhood. They weren't entirely wrong." He paused, looking at the faces watching him. The precursors didn't die out. They evolved beyond physical form. Each Guardian contains a portion of their collective knowledge, a test and a gift for species deemed worthy. "Worthy of what?" asked a woman near the front. "Of joining them," Eric said simply. "The connection I experienced was meant to be temporary, a glimpse of what humanity could one day become. But something unexpected happened. My genetic markers were more compatible with precursor patterns than they anticipated. The merge went deeper." Olivia, who stood nearby, stepped closer to him. "What does that mean for you, Eric?" He smiled at her, his expression gentle but somehow distant. "I'm still human, but my mind has been expanded. I can access Guardian's systems with a thought. I understand technologies that won't be invented for another 1,000 years." Admiral Patel frowned. "Does that make you dangerous to us?" "No," Eric replied firmly. "The precursors valued life above all else. They created the Guardians to protect, not conquer. That programming is now part of me." A scientist raised her hand. "What about the other 6 Guardian vessels?" "They're out there, waiting," Eric said. "Some may have already found compatible species. Others are still dormant." "And the Xelnar?" asked Admiral Patel. "Will they return?" Eric nodded. "Eventually. They won't give up so easily. But we have time to prepare, and we have Guardian." The council chamber fell silent as everyone considered the implications. Humanity had suddenly found itself part of a much larger story, one that had been playing out across the galaxy for thousands of years. Finally, the head of the council spoke. "Lieutenant Commander Mitchell, what would you recommend we do now?" Eric looked at Guardian's image on the screen. "Learn. The knowledge within Guardian could advance human civilization by centuries. Medical cures, clean energy, space travel beyond what we've imagined. It's all there." "And you?" Olivia asked quietly. "What will you do?" Eric turned to her, his blue eyes softening. "I'll help interpret what Guardian has to offer. And," he hesitated, "I need to understand what I've become." As the meeting ended and people filed out, Eric stood by a large window overlooking Earth. Olivia joined him, looking out at the blue planet below. "It's strange," Eric said. "Before all this, I was just trying to get a promotion. Now I can see the patterns of energy flowing through stars." Olivia smiled. "You always did aim too low." He laughed, a reassuringly human sound. "The precursors left messages in Guardian for us. They said humanity has potential they hadn't seen in 50 million years." "What kind of potential?" "To evolve as they did, to grow beyond our current form." He turned to her. "But we're not ready yet. We have challenges ahead. The Xelnar, our own divisions, the limits of our understanding." Olivia looked at Guardian, now resting peacefully in its dock. "Will we ever be ready?" "That's the question, isn't it?" Eric replied. "The precursors believed we would be. That's why they left Guardian where we would find it." He reached out and touched the window, looking at the stars beyond. "They're watching us now, waiting to see what will become." Far out in space, the damaged iron Stormblade limped away, its crew forever changed by what they had witnessed. And throughout the galaxy, 6 other Guardians waited, hidden among the stars.